guys, Nikki at Night here. So it's been a while since I've recorded a video, as you can see, by my day counter. Sorry about that. Basically I recorded the videos before and I uploaded them, and, you know, now I've recorded a little bit more and I realized my day count was off because I was looking at the wrong month. So this has been changed because number one, my day count was off, and number two, my I haven't recorded in a while. So the point of this video first is to tell you guys about TOA teams. So the very first thing I did whenever I got this account, whenever I summoned one of my first L&D scrolls, is I got Mantura. Now I know a lot of people really want Mantura, and I understand that. Mantura is really good for TOA and for a lot of other content, and I'm not going to go into full depth on that. But TOA normal teams, I'm not going to touch TOA hard teams because that's an entirely different thing that I haven't gotten into yet. I'm pretty far away from it. As a matter of fact, I can't get past TOA 50 in this rotation, which is Arta, and that's pretty tough. So I'm going to go over the basic team composition for a TOA team. So basically you're going to want a couple stunners, some damage of some sort, and a healer. So I would always recommend, like, if you have somebody with 2 AoE skills, Mantura is a great example. His skill 2 is AoE, and his skill 3 is AoE. Put them on Despair and toss them in a TOA team. Like Zinc, he also has 2 AoE skills. They're both AoE, so he's really good. So for now, these are going to be my stunners. Now I need a healer. Of course, I'm going to use Nikki because she is my best healer, but I could use Jasun, for example. So we're going to use her because I know not everybody has a Nikki, and a lot of people probably won't ever get a Nikki because she is rare, and I know my luck would never give me a Nikki. So we have our 2 stunners, Despair stunners, and a healer. Now, depending on the stage, you're going to want to vary your damage or your stuns. So you might want 1 extra stun on a stage, and you might want 1 extra damage on a stage. So I'm not going to do this stage because you can do that with pretty much any team. But let's see, what is TOA 80? We'll do TOA 90. Whoops. TOA 90. Okay. So, like I said, we need 2 stuns. Since this is a high stage, I'm going to pick another stunner because, you know, I feel like I need a little bit more to be safe. So I'm going to pick Basalt. He's not really a stunner. He has 1 AoE skill, but that's good enough for me. He's got Provoke, and he's got something that decreases attack bar by 35%, which is really good. So now I'm going to want my healer, and I'm going to bring my damage. So Shihao is kind of cheating because he also has a stun skill, but I'm mainly using him for damage because I've got my bases pretty much covered as far as stuns go. So not everybody has a Jasun, but everybody has a healer. If you don't go get one, there's no excuse. So I picked this stage because my friend was having a lot of trouble with it earlier, and I want to show that basically any stage can be overcome with the right team composition and the right plays. So you always want to attack whoever is going to be the most immediate danger to your team. Meaning, if they have all of their skills up and their attack bar is almost full, you're going to want to attack that one. But, you know, if they don't have any of their skills up, then you don't need to attack them because they're just going to use their skill 1 and do a little bit of damage to you. So you always need to keep in mind who's the most dangerous at any point in time. If somebody had told me this whenever I first started, I probably would have gotten into TOA a lot sooner, and yeah. But I'm picking this stage because my friend had a ton of trouble with it earlier, and I actually, he let me open the scroll because we are both having bad L&D luck. So I've always wanted a Pang, like really bad, ever since I started the game. And I pulled a Pang on his account, and I'm really salty about it, to be honest. So I might never talk about him again because, yeah. But this stage is really annoying because Gianna decides to do random crap. But you might just have to run the stage over and over again until Gianna decides that she wants to not kill everybody. So, like I said, keep in mind the most immediate danger at any time. Right now that's really nobody because they're both pre-controlled. So we're at the boss. First thing I'm going to do is heal everybody to full. I should have done that before I changed stages, but I am being stupid, so it's okay. I don't have an immunity buffer. It's okay. They can all get their first turn. Okay, maybe this isn't okay. But really the point, this adds to my point in the video, you're going to have to try different team comps until it eventually works. So, in trying to use something that everybody has, I used my underdeveloped units that really need a rework, from me, not from the developers. But this contributes to my point, you have to build a team that will work for you. So, I'm going to go back and start from scratch again. Alright, so Mantura is my stunner. I really need him, so I'm going to pick him. Well, since I couldn't keep the boss from putting everyone to sleep, I'm going to pick a attack bar controller, because that's what I need. I died very quickly whenever my one damage unit got killed, so I need that. I'm going to pick Chasun again because she was a pretty good healer, but actually I'm not because I realized I need a cleanser. And Nikki is a cleanse. It doesn't have to be Nikki. It can be any cleanser healer like Lulu or Lulu or Lulu. So that's that. Now I'm going to pick my damage up and we're going to go in and try again. So because I had that one damage, I always had to be afraid of him dying, but now that I have 2 damage, that's where it's going to be really good for not being afraid of one of them dying. My friend was having a lot of trouble. I'll go ahead and disclose he has a Mananan, and he believes firmly that that's the only damage he needs. And as long as you can keep your one overpowered damage dealer alive, go for it. But if you can't, and in his case, he was having trouble because it's the first time he's been that high in TOA, I understand it, but you gotta take more than 1 damage so that whenever your 1 damage dies, you don't have to restart the stage. Another note, Mantura is not only good because he has 2 AoE skills, he's also good because one of them slows, and also the other one is a AoE defense break and continuous damage. So as you can see, I have Nikki on Violence so that she can proc out of stuns like that. It's pretty great, especially for this stage. But if you can put Lulu on Violent, which you should be, because you should beat dragons and be farming dragons while you're working on TOA. So basically my progression was, you get the giants B10, farm it until you can do dragons B10, and then you farm that a lot. And once you're finally confident in your Vio runes, you can go ahead and go to the higher stages of TOA. My opinion, you should do whatever you can in TOA all the time, because even in TOA hard, if you don't think you can do it, simply because you get good rewards. Like, even if you just get the 50 energy from stage 10, you've made 8 summoning stones, 10 crystals, and 20 energy, which is assuming you ran each stage one time. So I know you guys are going to say that not everybody has these units that I have, but 3 of them are farmable. The key, or 2 of them are farmable. The 2 key units here were Lauren to keep the boss's attack bar down to keep him from crowd controlling me, and Crow, who did all of the damage. So I mainly picked the stage because Gianna Pang is pretty dangerous. It always has been for me. Because Gianna likes to stun Nikki and Pang likes to elongate the harmful effects over and over again, so Nikki can't move and then she can't cleanse the others, which is bad. So as long as you have a high resistance healer cleanser who can cleanse the stuns, then go for it. But I guess I'll do a quick TOA 100 tutorial as well, because my very first time beating TOA, I struggled very greatly with TOA 100. I'll do the Lyrith tutorial next time. This is for the other guy. I don't know his name off the top of my head. I'll find out in a second. Athtaros, maybe. Yeah, I think it's Athtaros. But Lyrith, in my opinion, is a bit easier, just for me personally. So I apologize for not making a video on a farmable team, but Mav has never really worked out for me, but you can use Mav. You can use Spectra to control attack bars. He's basically Basalt, but doesn't glance and can't do damage on skill 3, but he also has a good skill 2 for healing and defense buffing everyone. So Spectra skill 2 is more for damage because it does damage proportionate to max HP of the enemy, and that's really good for TOA because all the enemies have super high HP. This stage I would encourage taking out a Vanessa first so that you only have to deal with 2 passives instead of 3, but if you've got it under control, then just go ahead and do what you're going to do. See, they'd only actually revive twice if I had been smart. So like I said before, always keep in mind who's the most dangerous. And right now this Vanessa is not the most dangerous because she has continuous damage and she's going to die next turn from it. So that makes this monster, the Light Death Knight, the most dangerous. So now that he's gone, the stun monster is the most dangerous because she's going to die no matter what. And see, now we're past the stage. Alright. This is Athtaros. I'd never seen him before. I'd never even watched a video on how to kill him before I started TOA, and until I got to him. So mainly, he will mostly use this skill, removes beneficial effect, and decreases attack speed and attack power. You always need to be at full health if you can help it, because this skill will do a lot of damage. His skill 2 does a ton of damage. You're always going to take damage from his basically built-in counterattack that's always going to hit, and he recovers from it. So if you can heal block him, that's great. With literally anything, I used Lauren's skill 2, for example, and Nikki's skill 3, but Lauren's skill 2 will be sufficient as long as she can land that heal block. And this is kind of a pain almighty. Basically, it removes his harmful effects and then increases all of his stats proportionally, except for his HP. But that doesn't matter as long as your Lauren is fast enough to keep him controlled And even if you're nervous about that, you can go ahead and kill the acceleration crystal. Don't worry about the recovery disturbance crystal, especially if you have a cleanser. But the acceleration crystal, if you can slow it or kill it, that is very, very helpful if you are having trouble surviving his attacks. I recommend bringing 2 healers. That's what it took for me the very first time I beat it, was taking 2 healers. But you just got to keep his attack bar down and let him use Almighty as little as possible, because the more he uses it, the stronger he's going to become and the harder he's going to be to defeat. So this hits pretty hard, especially if you don't have high HP. I put high HP on most of my monsters because I'm so afraid of getting one shot, and you know, sometimes Nikki doesn't proc like that when I want her to, but you know, it is what it is. Another good thing about Mantura is he has a skill 1 strip with a 75% chance. That chance doesn't go up with skill up, sadly, but you know, once you can get Atheros down and keep his attack bar down, you can beat him really easily. The biggest trick is dealing with that crystal, the right crystal, because it does accelerate his attack bar pretty fast. And then once you get up into the higher stages, like I'd say stage 60 is what really changed things for me. I beat stage 60 and I was like, I'm gonna push on to stage 70, and I kept using all my energy on TOA. Wasn't smart because I wasted a ton of energy, but I got my goal. You gotta get that devil mod. Those things are so important. I got past 70, and once you can start pushing forward and you understand the importance of who to attack and in what order, it becomes really, really, I'm not gonna say easy, but I am gonna say simple, because sometimes your stuns just don't land, and that happens to everybody. But once you get your stuns landing, it becomes pretty easy. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys this stage because it was a pain for me. Back when this stage was TOA 50 is the first time I beat TOA. So I plan on doing a tutorial for every boss in TOA, because a lot of them are very annoying. But so I guess I'll go ahead and do this one now. The light jack-o'-lanterns are immune to all inability effects, so don't try to stun them, just try to reduce their attack bar if you are having trouble surviving them. The dark Sky Dancers are not really that dangerous. They have a skill 3 that does about 2k damage a hit and ignores defense effects, so if you're worried about that, then go ahead and knock them out first, but it really depends on what monsters you have. So this part, the Bay does a AoE stun, or not AoE stun, AoE brand, sorry, AoE brand, and that's going to make your team take a lot more damage. So as much as I want to say take him out first, I would actually suggest taking the Dark Elementals out first, because they start, once they use their skill 3, they become immune to death for 3 turns, and they reflect damage. So it's actually possible to kill yourself by them because they reflect damage, and if you have a high damage unit like Crow, who doesn't have any choice but to attack, you have to just take the damage, and there's nothing you can really do about it. So the Bay doesn't become too dangerous if you don't let that brand stick. Just hold on to your cleanser and pray, basically. So you should have a violent cleanser, like Lulu. If you put him on violent, he'd be a great choice. But this is a really annoying stage because it's kind of like the Arta stage, but it's a little bit easier in my opinion, because you've got 3 counterattackers and 2 provokers. The provokers aren't really an issue unless you let them provoke. So you can't let them move, really. You can either go ahead and kill them. My strategy for TOA has always been go straight for the boss no matter what, and then redo it as many times as I need to, but I realize that's not many people have the patience for that. So right now I'm going to use my... Alright guys, sorry about that. Summoner's War just decided to stop running, so that's kind of a pain. But I'll just go ahead and I'll go ahead and show this because I'm just going back through the stage. But what I was saying before Summoner's War died is that I'm going to use Shihao as a water tank because I don't have another water tank. But if you have anything like if you have a Neil, light fairy, who is built, you can use her to tank through a lot of TOA stuff, because everything does a lot of damage. So her Neil's skill 3 does an invincibility buff for 2 turns, I believe, and you can use that on anybody. So if you need a light tank for this part, you cast it on yourself and Neil gets invincibility. But anyway, you might not need a water tank if you have a fast enough Lauren to keep the attack bar of the Wind Monkey reduced enough so that he doesn't get a move. But Shihao is going to be my water tank. He's going to get a move this next turn because I don't have that kind of capability. But Shihao's going to move first, so I'm going to use a skill 3. This is simulating Neil giving invincibility. So he's got 1 turn invincibility. Neil we give 2 turns. So he's always going to use a skill 2 if he has the chance. I'm sorry, he's probably going to use a skill 2 if he has the chance. See, he didn't. I was wrong. But anyway, the point is, water tank. It's great. You should get one. But once he moves once, you should be able to control his attack bar enough that you don't really need to do anything. So basically there's multiple types of TOA teams. One of them, the type I use for TOA normal, is a bruiser team, which is basically just crowd control and damage. You need the damage. So yeah. Crowd control and damage. I need to build a dot team, which is damage over time. You want anything that contributes a lot of continuous damage effects, like Beretta, Melia. If you have a Thrain, I do. I haven't built him. And anything like that. Manchura contributes some damage effects, but you know. Deva that they just gave out, she'll be a great TOA monster. Especially if you skill up her skill 2, it'll go down 1 turn cooldown and harmful effects rate goes up. And she also inflicts continuous damage, which is great. You don't even need an extra a boomerang warrior for her. It would be great if you had a Maruna. I'm still crossing my fingers for this HOH to be a Maruna, but if you don't have one, don't worry about it. Her skill 2 is good enough. Put her on Despair or Violent. I prefer Despair because that makes this skill instantly better. It's a 2-shot for 30% chance to stun each. That boosts the first hit to a 50% chance with Despair. Because Despair, I don't know, it doesn't say it in the game, but Despair is per attack, not per hit. So Despair has the same chance to stun on a single hit as it does a multi-hit. But Despair should go on all your AoE monsters for TOA. But that is about it for this video. I guess I'll show you guys what I changed on free rune removal. This is pretty earth-shattering changes, you know. I moved Nikki's runes to Lushan. So he's got a lot more crit rate, less crit damage, but he's also got more attack. So he's doing pretty good. I like him. He does about 6.6k cards for a total of 20,000 per skill 3. That's enough to kill crystals in GB10, and given the brand on any given monster by Crow, he does about 9k, 8k or 9k. But that's what I did to Lushen. So Nikki got Fran's runes. I did get a grindstone for this. It was a rare grindstone, so it rolled to 30 instead of 29, which I'm grateful for. But I'm going to regrind it once I get a better grind. And yeah, so this is my best Fire Will set. She's got a lot of attack. That's all I really want. She heals a lot now and still does some damage. Not quite as much as she used to because she doesn't have crit rate or crit damage, but that's okay. I did have to sacrifice some accuracy and a little bit of HP as well, but she ended up a better monster because of it, because now she can Bioproc for days and win games for me. But yeah, that's all I changed. My Fran is unruned now, sadly. I will work on reruning her because I need an invincibility buffer for RTA. But that's it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys in the next video.